So, Luka Nation, happy Monday. Excited to have you guys listen along, join with us on this kind of the new week. And I don't know about you, Cage. I got a ton of DMs this weekend with, all the live streams going on, reactions on top of reactions to other people reacting on others' behavior. And we get all of these questions, what do you think about this and that? And truthfully, I don't know if this goes for you, man. I'm still trying to figure out our role in the hobby with this podcast, right? We love talking about cards. We love talking about opportunities, markets. We love bringing you guys guests, but something that is a little close to my heart, and Cage did this with the come up with Cage, is people keep saying, let's hear from LCSs. Let's hear from people who actually move the market. Let's hear from people who actually have stake in the game and are trying to build real businesses for their communities. So on Friday, we had Steve Lacey on and we said, hey, any of you guys out there opening LCSs, have an LCS, you want to use our platform, come on. And today we have Wheelhouse Cards. And what's cool about this is from my backyard. This is from Lower Merion, celebrating an Eagles win. They opened up a shop maybe 2 months ago. Wheelhouse Mike, Wheelhouse Charles. So Wheelhouse Cards is the brand. I'd love for you guys to support, follow them on Instagram. And I want to welcome you to the show, Charles. I'm excited to get to know you, ask you about questions with the shop. Maybe other LCSs could even learn a little bit from you about how you guys are opening, branding, and all the items you're selling. So without further ado, welcome to the Lucas, Tigers, and Bronzo My Show.
Thank you so much, guys. I appreciate you guys having me on. I'm Charles from Wheelhouse. I am one of the partners. So we have two other partners. We have Wheelhouse Mike and Wheelhouse John. John is more of the he's the vision guy, right? He makes sure the customer experience is what it needs to be around here on the main line. We're in Wayne, PA, right in the center of town. We had a shop about a mile up the road for the last year. We seen that we had about 500-600 square foot, and it was very tight. And with the demand in the area, there's nowhere for kids to go. So what we seen was this was exploding in our area. Cards, Pokemon, sports cards, memorabilia, and even apparel was exploding, and they had nowhere else to go. So what we did was we seen a building open up, and we took it as soon as it became available. We've now moved into about 3,500 square foot from about 500 square foot. We have very active partners in this where we all believe in the vision of cards and community, and we doubled down and went to a much bigger space. And if you check our Instagram out at Wheelhouse Cards, you'll see what Fridays look like here. All the kids get out of school. It's called Walk to Wayne. So they walk home from their elementary schools and schools in the area, and there's about 150 kids in here every single Friday, all fired up for cards, ready for giveaways. So we do a lot of giveaways on Fridays as well to kind of herd the crowd. It's pretty insane. Need some crowd control experience there. But
it's funny, I remember this, around the corner from my junior high, there was a card store, and there was a I guess you would call it like a convenience store, but the convenience store they shifted what they were doing, and they opened up kind of like this back area, and they put in 4 NBA Jam video game machines.
Yeah.
And they sold Sour Punch straws, candy and sodas. And all of a sudden it was you couldn't go there. It was every kid would go to the card store and go to the NBA Jam. It'd be just bring your quarters and the whole deal. It's pretty smart. I mean, it is the right location. You got the foot traffic and the whole deal, but you're being modest, right? I mean, I got a chance to sit down with you guys, at National, smoke a cigar, talk about your vision, talk about, what you guys do for the hobby. And it's an important thing to kind of touch on, and we'll just jump right into it. I know you won't, ring your own bell, toot your own horn, so we'll have to do it for you a little bit, but move to the side a little bit and show everybody what it says under you, right? Cards and community. So this is important. Now you can come back because we need you on the podcast, but so when the market is great, everybody can kind of do their own thing. Everybody's smiling. Everybody's happy. You double down, but you're doubling down on a store. You're 7xing the size. You're adding your investment at a time where the overall card market, as all other alternate asset class markets, are sort of down. And what you're seeing is the kids who are in there on a Friday don't care about that. The kids come in, they're opening Pokemon cards, they're having fun. That's the future of this. And since you realize that, if you can, a couple of things you do for the kids in the neighborhood besides just giveaways on Fridays. Because I know this when we chatted, people were sending messages like, "Hey, I got a bunch of cards for you guys for your giveaways. Like, where do you want me to send them? How do I get them to you?" Like you've built up this kind of people know you as people who are doing good things for kids, and because of the community you've built up, they know, okay, I'm not going to throw these out, I'm not going to sell these on whatnot, I'm going to give these to the Wheelhouse guys because I know it's going to go to kids. So talk about some of the stuff you do if you can.
Yeah, absolutely. So I mean, Wheelhouse is determined to be the best hobby experience out there. We're not here to take over the world. We're here to stick to our mission, and our missions is simple. It's bringing cards to multiple generations, right? Bringing it back. It flowed in for me, down from my grandfather to my parents to me. And, when I fell in love with this thing and I noticed that this is a multi-generational thing, right? It's been around for a very long time and we want it to continue. So who do we have to take care of? The kids, right? That's the most important thing that we do. And you call us crazy, but the hobby is vibrant around here, in our corner at least. We see new people coming in every single day to our shop. We see people that are starting their hobby journey with us. It starts with, you see moms learning cards because their sons are taking a liking to cards, right? And they're taking they're looking up comps. They're looking up, what grading is going to be better for them. And, they're really taking a big liking to cards as well as dads with their daughters saying, hey, guess what this is going to grade out at when we send this to SGC or PSA? See what's going to happen. And they get really excited. It's a whole family experience to the grandparents, sharing it with their grandkids. And we really, here what we do the best of is making sure that mystery packs and fun hobby talk and sports talk is over iPads, right? Because that's one of the biggest thing that, kids in this area that they didn't have anything to do in our local community here in Wayne, where they're stuck on their iPads. They were stuck through a pandemic. They had nothing else to do, no real experiences. And when you come into Wheelhouse, you have an experience, right? You're getting to experience cards. You're getting to experience the nostalgia and reliving the hobby through sometimes your parents and grandparents. And if you see on the wall behind me, like we talked about, this is one of those displays where it's cards going from the lowest price points all the way up to high dollar items, all rare, all types of rarity. You get base commons all the way up to, Michael Jordan rookies. You get all types of different cards here that you can see. But it's really
what is on the wall behind you, Charles?
So this is actually Corey from Show Your Slabs. This is a Show Your Slabs display.
And is it like you take one, leave one, like the tops?
No, it's all for sale on the wall. So it's all different types of cards behind me. I mean, I can get pretty close and show you.
You're good. I just wanted to know because Tops had that like the wall at the national.
Take one, leave one. Yeah, that's a good idea. I might add that.
So Handsome, here's where I'm going with this one, right? So you got a bunch of kids in your store. We're in Pennsylvania, different economic strata. Some kids have money. Some kids are there with their parents. Some kids just walk out of school on Friday and they didn't get the new pair of Jordans. You name it. Some kids still want to just be involved in the hobby and they can't afford the high end cards. You name it. You guys do something for them, right?
Yes, absolutely. We have bargain bins all throughout the shop spread. So actually on the table here, we have all these different cards, all by sport on the table, lined. It's about, I would say, about 24 foot of slabs and singles. We have thousands and thousands of cards ranging from that 50 cents to $1 range all the way up to you name it.
And I'm going to use a dirty word here, but I think we might get a better version of it with you guys. Repacks. Right? Repacks. Yep. I mean, in a hobby, whatnot. I go on whatnot every once in a while. I see a repack and it's like, oh man, like, hey, it's just tough. Is there any way to do repacks to kind of like skew towards helping kids out, making sure the kids don't get screwed? So talk to me about that a little bit.
We have Wheelhouse mystery packs.
We go. That's what they're called. Wheelhouse mystery packs. All right. Shoot.
Wheelhouse mystery
Tell me about them.
So what they come with 10 all-star cards. So it's all players the kids will know. We developed this when we opened. It's something I used to do when I was younger at shows and things of that nature because mystery packs really took a different and, like you said, a different terminology to it. But what we do is we pack them filled with 10 all-stars. So it's all players they'll know. If you're talking basketball, it's players like LeBron, Steph Curry, Joel Embiid, Jokic, all these different guys that maybe those base commons or even colors or people are selling them for $5 to $7 each at some card shows, right? And we put 10 of them in there. And then on top of that, we take 5 rookies where we chock them full of the top rookies. If you're getting a Hornet, it was LaMelo Ball last year. It wasn't Nick Richards or Grant Riller, because those are the cards that the kids didn't want necessarily. So if I'm providing value, I had to bring it to a really big level here, guaranteeing them the value that they're spending, a $30 mystery pack, that they're getting that back in every single pack. And how are we able to do that is because we buy at such scale, as well as what you talked about. People give us a lot of things that we're able to bulk these things up and make them some really serious value for these kids to start collecting.
The Wheelhouse mystery pack goes like this, guys, right? It's kids come in the store, they look at the price of boxes. Even Chronicles is $3,000. Well, clearly wipe my ass is so much money that these kids can't buy it. A parent comes in, they want to keep the kid in the hobby, they want to get the kid in the hobby. All their friends came over to a sleepover last week, and all the kids were talking about cards, and mom wants to come in and make sure that her kid is getting cards, but she doesn't have $500 to buy a Luminance box and get screwed, right? So what Wheelhouse does is they provide an entry level for kids, an entry level for mom, for parents to come in and do this with their kids. And they say, okay, $30. It's $29.99. You buy this, and we guarantee you, like Andrew does with his mystery packs, you're guaranteed to be happy with your mystery pack, that your kid is going to get cards of players that he or she knows, cards that their friends know, cards that they'll probably be able to trade. And it's a nice, easy way to enter the hobby for somebody. That's what I loved about it. And the cool add-on on it is people know you're doing this. It's basically a kid product. We talk about like what can Panini do to get Chronicles. Well, even the kids know. I don't want to forget Chronicles. I mean, even the kids know that, right? So believe it or not, I think this is kind of why Pokemon is starting to, to take over with the kids. Not only is it shiny and there's TV shows and the whole deal, but I can get my son a box of Pokemon cards for $35, $50, $70. I can't get him anything worth opening in the sport world for that. You're changing that. You're giving these kids mystery packs, which have the ability, they don't know what they're going to get. They could get something major in it. You don't know what cards, but you're getting something. And I think it's an easy sell to the parents and you name it. The cool part about it is Cards and Community. One, you're building this new community with kids, but also more importantly, your community, the other dealers, the other people, in the hobby know that you're doing this for kids. And they kind of like, even me, like I'll open boxes. All right, I got a stack of, I got Embiid, I got Tatum, you guys are going to get them the next show you're at or the next time they see you because you know it's going to kids. I love that.
Yeah, I have a kind of a statement, and then it's a question, and it's one that it might be a little challenging, but maybe I think will benefit the other LCSs. So, Cage, remember how we talked about zero-sum game, right? Mm-hmm. For someone to win. Yep. Someone else has to lose. And here we're like mystery packs, that's like a bad word because everyone thinks of those as kind of ripping people off, right?
Correct.
Selling slabs. It's like, well, we're all fishing from the same well, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep. So,
and then hobby boxes, they're so expensive. So I'm sitting here thinking, like, if I'm an LCS, how do I profit? What is my main revenue stream? If kind of the things that the hobby accepts, wax, slabs, and mystery packs always feel win-loss. And it's a question for both of you because I think it's a lot harder for an LCS to make money these days. I don't think that's a secret. And the question, I guess, is how. And maybe I'll go to you first, Charles, and then to you, Cage. Like, if we could kind of peek behind the curtain, what have you seen that's really works well for you guys?
I mean, definitely the mystery pack thing. Obviously, as a result, the win-loss, right, is you sell less of hobby boxes, right? Simply enough, you're going to sell less of them because we're putting such value inside of them. The adults that, like myself, that open up hobby boxes, similar to what Cage just said, is you leave them behind, right? But for a kid to repurpose that $500 loss, maybe, right, for somebody else, can in turn bring a kid into the hobby and he won't exit. That's more important, right? Because we know what we're getting into, right? When we open a box, we know what we're getting, and we know the risks. But for a kid to save up his entire allowance for a month, 2 months, 3 months, to come in here and say, hey, I have this budget and this is what I want to get. It's tough. Where do you point them? Right. And this entry level of the mystery packs is the biggest piece that we've found is how do we do that? We buy in such bulk and we buy from so many different avenues to be able to provide that value back into the kids.
I'm curious what you think. And for the kids, I'm assuming that they want more bang for their buck. Like they kind of care less. Flux, Chronicles, they just want to have the rookies, the all-stars, and as many cards as possible for Cage,
least amount they can. Yeah.
I love it. Because listen, the card stores, the LCS, which I don't own one, so I don't want to speak like I'm some expert in the world. But what I can tell you is
you've been
that
going to one for a
cards,
while.
I've been going to a bunch of them for a long time. They're like any other business, right? And I don't know, Andrew, how many times you've tried to lease or buy a car, or how many times you've tried to lease or buy yourself a new cell phone, or how many times you've gone to a casino. Let's use those three as an example.
Which
Because
one
they're
of
all
those three?
they're
'Cause
all
those are so
valid.
different. Okay.
Okay, they're not different for the purpose here.
Okay.
The purpose here
I'm
is,
with
as
you.
a business, you have to provide a menu, you have to provide options, you have to provide options for different types of customers. You go to a car dealership. When I first got out of college and I went to Volkswagen, I got a Jetta. All right, fine. That is one offering they had, right? Then my next
Don't
car
they
was
have a deal with where they get those Jettas cheaper, where they get them at wholesale prices?
well, it's
where,
Volkswagen directly. So, but
Right.
just you talk
Sure.
about how does an LCS succeed, right?
Sorry.
We can go into their allocations and that stuff after with the second question. But you go to a Cadillac. The first Cadillac I bought was an entry level sedan, right? And they were nice to me. They provided this Cadillac to me. I know my dealer, and he checks up on me every once in a while, make sure my Cadillac's okay. If I need any service, any issues, I go back in. And the next time I go in 3 years later, maybe I'm making a little bit more money, and I trade up to the small SUV. And then guess what? I got 5 years later, 3 years later, whatever. Now I can get the Escalade, or I can get the Lyric, because I'm now making more money. I'm now going into another phase of my life. Verizon, my cell phone, iPhone 8. Wow, there are iPhone 14 Pros. There are people, they sell different models. They sell the S, they sell the SE, they sell the smaller ones, they sell flip phones, because there are different types of customers who go in for different types of things. But they also have these high-end products. Casinos. You can go in and play nickel slots, penny slots. You could play blackjack for $5, but they also have a high-end room where you gotta bet $1,000 a hand on blackjack. You name it. It's exactly the same with LCS. There's going to be different types of customers who come in the door. Now, these guys can't just ignore the kids because there's better margin on the high-end boxes. Because one, those kids, while they're not making the margin on these mystery packs, they're selling a lot of them to these kids. But they also realize that for their store to grow, their store to remain, for them to maybe open 3, 4, 5 other stores, they have to, one, have a good reputation in the hobby and take care of their people, but two, that hobby has to grow. Not just fight over one little piece of pie that all the hobby stores in Philadelphia area are fighting over. But hey, if the whole thing grows, which we can do by understanding the kids who come in who buy mystery packs now, their allowance is going to go up. They're going to get jobs. They're going to go out and become professionals. And in 5, 10, 15 years, they're going to be buying higher end products from us with better margins. We're like any other business in the world. Provide a menu of services for the different class of people that come in. Don't take any of them for granted, and understand that if you take care of people, they will be return customers and the whole thing will grow. That would be what I do with an LCS.
Anything you want to add to that, Charles? Anything?
Yeah, I mean, it's the most simple way to put it. Is we're not focused in chasing margins. Like that's not our business model. We're not here to win on every single product. We do giveaways on Fridays where I gave away, 2 maxi signed basketballs that cost me full dollar amounts, right? They're not cheap in the Philadelphia area, but I'll spend that. Because if it makes sure that a kid is coming into the hobby and isn't going to exit because he had a great experience here, that's all that matters. Is making sure that this, like Cage just said, the pie continues to get bigger. And I'm not fighting over the same piece of pie. I'm trying to grow the hobby. That's what I'm here to do. I'm trying to grow this as big as I possibly can in our community, because that's where everybody wins residually. And I hope that the LCSs in our area raise that level up. And that's what we're here to do. We're raising the bar every day that we possibly can.
Andrew, I got an idea for you as a middleman. I know with the internet the way that it is, and everybody can just go on eBay or whatever, PWCC sell. But within the hobby, what we need, what Andrew's hat can be, a regional trader. I would love it if you were the guy that somebody out in Arizona who got their hands on an inexpensive maxi basketball were able to trade with somebody in Philadelphia who got their hands on a Kyler Murray signed football. and they got it cheap because of the locale. And let's do a swap, like a regional trader, somebody who's like, all right, I got a whole bunch of Saquon Barkley cards, but I'm out here in Vegas. You got a bunch of Devontae Adams, rookie cards, or boom, let's hobby help each other with this stuff instead of just I'm gonna put mine online.
Exchange
gram, just put it on the line.
That's funny that you say that, because that's essentially what we try to do here. So we, like I said, we host charity events, we host trade days with the kids, right? And when the kids come in, we have a staff member, almost like a referee, approving these trades, and no money is ever exchanged.
Look at that. Cool. They bring in like a fantasy aspect, like the commissioner has to approve a trade in fantasy.
Right. So when they come up to either myself or John or one of our staff members, and they basically say, this is my trade. This is what we want to trade. And some of the times, right, it's this person trying to give 4 slabs because they really want that Tyrese Maxey signed basketball, right? But that's not allowed. That's not what we're doing here. We're trading equal value. We want to make sure that everybody wins in the end, and that no money's exchanged. I mean, kids can come in. They don't need money all the time to come into Wheelhouse. It's not it's if you don't have money on you, it's okay. You generally leave with something anyway, right?
How long have you been in
think about
business?
That's awesome.
Just out of curiosity.
Most important thing. Say that again.
How long have you been in this business, like sports cards, LCS?
Sports cards. So I started with Pokemon, and I started at card shows when I was a kid. I was about 10, 11 years old, setting up at card shows and local shows around the area. And obviously, like everybody else, once you hit graduating high school, I stopped for maybe a year or two, and then quickly thereafter, I'm 29, so I graduated in 2012. Probably stopped for 2-3 years and really picked back up, and then the boom happens, right? And it goes all the way up. And I sold a business prior to starting this with John and Mike. And I was kind of in a moment where I wanted to go back to my first love. If I won in this business and I want to go into something else, and I seen an avenue it was probably the darkest moment, right? Because we were on the decline when we opened in May of last year. And we didn't see that. We've seen an increase every single month over month, that we continue to grow. And people talk about all this negative stuff that's happening in the hobby. We don't feel it here. We don't feel the downturn. There's tons of excitement, new people coming in every day, that I don't know the recipe necessarily, but I really think it starts simply enough the customer experience, right? That's the most important thing here is, and John's really rigid with that. My partner, John, he places these guardrails in place because the customer experience, nobody sees it like he does. Mike's more like that chairman. He pays attention out in the hobby, and he listens. He's always got his ear to the street. And for me, it's my job to execute everything here. And that's what we do. That perfect synergy, to have 3 of us that are 100% all in on this experience. It's why we've seen the growth that we've seen. It's why we've expanded to where we are.
Mike is chairman, advisor. Johnny's vision, customer service, and your operations.
Execution.
I love that.
Executor. Yep.
Y Combinator, by the way, like the Silicon Valley kind of like WeWork, they say the perfect recipe is 3 founders in today's modern age, because there's so much to do.
There is.
Kids,
Andrew does all 3 of them. I just show up and talk.
No.
I got a question for you.
Your advisor for sure. You're a great consigliere.
I'm just a yeller. Poor Andrew he just gets the brunt. He's like my punching bag, this poor guy.
How many times do you guys yell at each other, Charles?
Thousands of people listening to Andrew.
I mean, I
yell at him all the time.
It's
one thing I always say. Can you open that door real quick?
Yeah, open the door.
Yeah.
Open the door.
If we open at 11, it's 10:30.
Open that door. I farted in here. It's tough to breathe. Open the door.
So
no.
And also, I mean, simply enough, we're all about convenience too, right? We're open 7 days. Our customers demand it. I don't understand why hobby shops close a day or two. I mean, I understand people have different.
Even on the main line when there's Shabbos, everyone's walking everywhere on the main line. They don't even drive. I swear to God, anyone that's from the main line knows what I'm talking about. On Saturdays, they're all just walking. Cage, you had a question. I'm sorry.
Yes.
My question is, because you won't bring it up yourself, because that's the kind of guy and shop you guys run, but you do some stuff for charity too. Talk about that. I'm going to force you to do it. Some stuff for the Children's Hospital and stuff like that.
So we do a lot of, like I said, with the mystery packs, we actually donate to CHOP and give the ICU kids packs to open.
That's it.
And it's like we said before, it's not junk wax. It's all current active players that the kids actually watch on TV and get excited about.
This is one of those times where the vernacular of the day, the words that are used, the slang, makes it
CHOP is Children's Hospital of Pennsylvania.
Right. And when he said he gives away stuff to a children's hospital, you said that's sick. without
no,
even
well,
realizing
because
it.
it hits close to home because I remember Chop. I
Right,
went
but
to
it's
Chop.
awesome. It's cool. It's a
It's
good
sick,
deed. It's amazing.
sick,
It's sick. It's a
sick, nasty.
hospital. Come
Yeah.
on, man.
Yeah, we
Oh,
also did a the October after we opened. We also hosted at Live Casino. We hosted a charity event, so it was an entire card show that we donated all of the proceeds, 100% to Bringing Hope Home, which is they help families of cancer. They take care of financials for them, and that's just something we do. That's always been in my heart and my partner's hearts to give back, because yes, we get all these things, but to give it away is much more meaningful.
all right, you're a Pokemon guy. Give me what Pokemon is Jalen Hurts?
I mean, Charizard. I mean, it's pretty
Really?
much.
You're
I
that
mean,
sold on him. He is the guy already, huh?
I mean, yeah. In the city right now, I mean, there's nothing
He's
like.
Charmeleon, evolving and flourishing.
Yeah,
in Charizard.
yeah, he's gotten to Charmeleon level. I would say he was Charmander. He's now in the Charmeleon.
I mean, all right. I mean, I give him like maybe somebody who runs fast. He's not Blastoise. You don't have a cannon. You don't have the water cannon yet. But
All that matters to Philadelphians is he wins, right? He's a winner, and
it's true.
he's continuously.
Well, Jalen
won.
Hurts pops into your
Unreal.
store and says, "All right, I got my car outside. All right, I'm gonna come into your store every weekend if you take me right now to the best cheesesteak place in Philly. But if you get it wrong, I'm never coming back. Where are you taking him?"
Ooh, I'd probably say Barry's in Roxborough.
Everybody has a different answer. It's either Angelo's off South Street or
well,
Barry's.
Angelo's. That's
Tony
more
Luke's and
Yeah.
I
like
Barry's.
Barry's. Yeah,
All
Barry's is in Roxborough.
I gotta,
Also like
Andrew.
Los
I gotta start
Angeles.
taking a list of these. I go to Philly for a week and just hit cheese
We're
steaks.
gonna get the Philly show.
I could take you on a tour.
Yeah, we're gonna be at the Philly show. We'll stop by Wheelhouse. One question: it is tough because I'm stuck on this. Like, a lot of our audience is actually business owners, is what I'm realizing, right? Like they own businesses. They're participating in growing the hobby pie. They don't come here for clickbait and stuff like that. And I'm wondering, like, let's say you put onto Hobby Rescue, right? We love your store. We love how you run it. We want you to go and save this store 30 miles away from you. Okay, $5,000 a month rent, 2,500 square feet. They sell a little bit of singles. They have that owner that still sits anytime anyone walks into the store. What would you do? What business revenue streams would you add to that store to make it profitable?
Definitely Wheelhouse mystery packs. They should be in every LCS around the world. I mean, that alone will keep people coming back.
What's funny about it, man, is if you listen to what he's talking about, not once has he talked about allocation. Not once has he talked about, wow, I can't get kids in my store. I can't get customers here. I can't make the big bank because I can't get the product in.
We don't get the allocation. We don't have that. We haven't relied on that.
That's sort of my point here. And KG, you could see I'm pressing with it because here's the issue. You once told me no one cares about your intentions, Andrew, right? You have great people who do all this stuff for charity, for the community. But if they can't pay their bills in 2 years, just like in New York City, you have a boom of awesome stores. And then so my goal with this channel is we share best practices. Oh, this guy's doing this in Santa Fe. This guy's doing this so that LCSs are able to incorporate revenue streams, make money, and give back. People think of making money as a bad thing, but if you make money and you have a profit, you could turn that profit and do good for your community, as we're seeing here.
Absolutely.
I wonder if it's something you could partner with a school, like a local school. Like, if you're a store out here, right? I mean, put my John Tapper, Bar Rescue, Hobby Rescue. If you're a store, in whatever location you're at, right? Call the principal, call, PTA, whatever it is, and say, you guys doing a fundraiser? Yeah. Okay. Well, I'll bring in mystery packs for the kids. Like, and you put your brand on it, you put the whole deal, and now you got your address, your website, and you if you're going to lose money in the first one, it's a charity thing, it's a PTA thing, it raises money for the school, whatever it is. But now you have kids in the school saying, all right, I got to go get another Wheelhouse mystery pack. I got to go to the store. What'd you get in your pack? What'd you get in your pack? And it's, I think there's probably a bunch of ways to do that where initially, Andrew, the beginning of it might be you have to take a little bit of a hit, right?
Customer acquisition.
That's the deal.
Yep. And Luka Nation, as you guys are listening to this series, this episode, if you guys have ideas that you think LCSs could incorporate or you've seen, drop it in the comments, or guests will come on and be like, I didn't think of that, or that's a great idea. So, any final words, Charles, before we let you go? And I mean, you have a busy day. This is the start of your week.
Absolutely.
Store's opening.
It is. Yeah, absolutely. I just say simply enough, we're here to stay. We want to be here for a very long time, and we hope that we continue to be blessed to have this opportunity. I think that it's very important that others also hop on board with taking care of their customer, taking care of the kids, focusing there, because that's the biggest thing for us as what in our success is taking care of that new hobby entry and making sure that you take care of them and you provide them real value up front. Not, it's not all about the margin, right? We talked about that. It's not all about getting that. It's about making sure that we grow this hobby and take care of the kids, and everything else follows that. That's
what percentage would you say of the people that walk in your door are new customers to, like, new to the hobby versus existing to the hobby? Like, they've been to a show versus never gone to a show ever.
I would say it's about 60-40, never been to a show, never jumped into the hobby.
60% of your customer base is new customers, new entrants to the hobby.
Yeah, a lot of them. And sadly enough, it's a lot of people that have been scathed. Maybe they've been in for a month or two and they're now down thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars. And they're ready to leave. They're ready to break. Bills are coming up. And we take them under our wing and we show them the map on how to, one, get out of that and reinvest better. Because a lot of people listen to all these different videos and all these different people, and it's what's right for you. And if you take care of them like that and figure out what is their plan, they may have came in and think they're going to hit big. Everybody thinks that, but that's not the real deal. What part in the hobby do you want to play? And once you find that out, we help them walk that path out completely. And it's worked thus far, and we continue to build on that because you have to take care of them. These people are real people. They're real collectors. They're real sports fans. They don't have immense knowledge. And, I'm not here to have that conversation with them of I know more and you should just listen to me. That's not true. I have to listen to you first. What do you want out of this? And how do we obtain that for you? Being either a kid, a grandfather with, they're trying to liquidate, there's somebody that got stuck in the whatnot, dark, deep hole.
Deep hole of whatnot.
Yeah. And you want to realize that real customer experience is important.
By the way, the mystery packs sound great, but the best lesson here in the last 2 minutes is something I have to take to heart every once in a while as well in what we do. And it's sometimes the best thing you could provide for somebody is not talk, listen. Somebody comes in, they've been beaten up by the hobby recently. You want to hear their story and kind of, maybe help guide them instead of just telling them what to do, find out what they want to do.
Right.
And the best thing that I heard you say here is kids don't have to come into the store with money. Obviously, it's better when they do, but they're going to leave with something. So the only suggestion I would have for LCSs, and then Wheelhouse, Mike, you may already have this, or, for other people who are there, maybe we can be kind of a clearinghouse for this, that exchange, Graham, Andrew, is I think every LCS should have either their PO box, if they own one, or, their address kind of out there. I mean, I know we have thousands of listeners, and there's probably a bunch who are local to Wheelhouse, right? People like me who open boxes every Friday and literally throw out cards. I throw out Charizards because they're not shiny Charizards, and Ian doesn't want them. To be able to either stop in and say, here you go, here's a shoebox, here's a whole box of cards, or drop it in the mail. It doesn't cost much money to throw it in there, and you can support your local LCS and know that it's going to kids. Hearing somebody, like Charles talk about this and knowing where those cards are going to go to, I want to know where I can send cards now so that I can help the mystery packs. They can still do good stuff for the kids, and it doesn't exactly come out of their pocket. We should be able to kind of foster that going forward, Andrew, for other LCSs who maybe want to do something like this as well.
Absolutely.
I love that. You've been working on that for a little while. Well, we'll talk about it.
We try.
Wheelhouse cards. One word or two words? Wheelhouse cards.
Wheelhouse. We just say Wheelhouse.
Wheelhouse.
And on Instagram, it's Wheelhouse.
It's Wheelhouse cards at Wheelhouse cards. Yep.
Perfect. Luka Nation, please follow, please support Charles. It's good to have you. Say hi to Mike. We'll see you at a show. Will you be at Chantilly this weekend?
I will not. We have the best show in town. This is right here.
Your store. We'll be at Chantilly. I can't wait to see who we get to meet. It's gonna be awesome.
Yes, sir.
Has anyone told you look like Mr. Beast a little bit?
No.
Peace. So thank you all for listening to another episode of Lucas, Tigers, and Bronzo My. I wanted to tell you about a new service that we have starting as of today, and I'm really, really excited to bring it to you guys. So, as a part of our partnership with SGC, we got 50 free submissions every single month, and many of you have taken advantage of that. And it's amazing that we could have the opportunity to 650 episodes, 675 episodes in, to go ahead and give back to our community. As people were sending those cards in, they asked, can we send 5, 10, 20 more cards to you guys? We'll pay for it, but we wanted them graded with SGC. You guys know SGC is turning cards around in 13 to 14 business days, have incredible customer service, and their secondary market values are going up day after day after day. And that's exciting for the hobby and exciting for the grading landscape. So we didn't want to just rush into it. We wanted to do it right. And what we did was I relocated here to Boca Raton, Florida. I opened up a P.O. box maybe 5 minutes away from SGC, and I will be hand delivering and hand picking up the cards. So you don't have to worry about anyone else touching your cards. It will be me, and I will update you every step of the way. So here's how it's going to work. I'm going to personally pick up the cards from a P.O. box, prep them, new card saver, new penny sleeve, and deliver them to SGC every single Tuesday. Why Tuesday? Well, it lets the stragglers over the weekend come back through on Monday and gives me a day to prep, and it basically gives SGC the entire week to work on grading those cards. Once your cards pop, only then at the end of the process will you be paying for the service. It's $25 per card, simple as that, and the turnaround times have never been faster. We're hearing right now 13, 14, less than 20 business days. So there it is. 9170 Glades Road, number 135 is the P.O. Box in Boca Raton, Florida, 33434. 9170 Glades Road, number 135, Boca Raton, Florida, 33434. Of course, you could shoot me an email or shoot me a text anytime, and I'm always available. Many of you already have my email. It's iamandrewgoldberg@gmail.com. or my cell phone number, 215-519-9154. Reach out with any questions. I could walk you through the process. I've hopped on the call with quite a few of you, and I'm happy to do that. Love you, Luka Nation.